Redo. Perfect. Oh. All right. I got a lot of. Hang on. We're telling more followers. Whoa, you're on right away, man. You are ready. What up, Allison? I'm about to let you in. I just wanted to play some music. Da, 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 da. Hope everyone's okay. And sorry about that. Let's do this. Okay, so what you gotta do is you gotta do the whole select to join. Here we go. And I'm so happy to have you. All right. Go live with Allison. I gotta fix my lighting. This happened last time. Hold up, I gotta fix my lighting.
That's a nice setup.
What's that?
That's a nice setup.
Oh, hey, it's waiting for you.
Yeah.
It's waiting for you, man. It's waiting for you. We're here in the east. Yeah, this is yeah, I'm in the backyard. I gotta catch my breath. But what was I gonna say? This is the third interview of this series, this back to school series that I did and that I'm doing. And so yeah, luckily, give thanks. I've been able to do all of them out here.
That's so
yeah. I can't really hear you. Speak up one more time.
Okay, let's try this.
That's better. I'm about to do my introduction. All right, so today I'm very, very happy to have a longtime friend joining me for this is the final edition of the Record Skool Back to School series, where I interview people that I'm inspired by who are doing a lot of innovative things in music and education. So the first two interviews were music producers and music entrepreneurs, and this is the final segment of the trifecta with an esteemed author, writer, teacher, educator, and traveler, which is pretty dope. Put on that.
Don't hype it, eh? Don't hype it.
Traveler. Woo! I mean, if you know someone in your life that travels from continent to continent to country, it's like that envy will not be surpassed. So, a lot of people write books, a lot of people do music and do cool things, but Alison actually has been just traveling through the world for the past decade. I'm like, looking at Instagram and Facebook, I'm like, oh, wow. Must be nice. Anyway, welcome. Alison Isaac, the author of this fantastic book, Kookumbah. Thank you so much. Welcome. Round of applause. Clap emojis. Clap, clap, clap. Yay, 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 yay. You can clap for yourself, by the way.
Yay.
I was going to have an assistant. Dominique was going to join you. Say what?
Where's the munchkin? I thought a munchkin was joining us.
Man, okay, here we go. I'm going to answer this question succinctly if I can. She's at her friend's house, okay? And it made me think about the fact that this book addresses the experience of youth and parents, which is like, I didn't think about that. But basically, I sent her on a little errand, okay? She wanted to watch TV, and I'm biased. I try and have my parent teacher hat on to say, do something stimulating. Don't just watch TV all the time, right? That's what we all do. So we did a little cleanup, and then her friends are moving to the country next week, 2 weeks from now. So I'm like, why don't you run down the street and ask them if they're available on Sunday, because we're supposed to have a little picnic for them. And they haven't responded to my text. I'm like, let me send her on a little detective mission, So long story short, she didn't come back. So I'm like, okay, let me walk up the street. I go knock on the girl's door. Like, no, Dominique didn't show up. It's okay, man, she didn't show up. Okay. So I have a very secure little community, right? So I came back home because sometimes it's happened where she goes back home the other way. You know what I mean? So I came home, I didn't see her shoes. So I'm like, okay, it's not a good feeling. But I didn't tell my wife. I just, went back outside. And when I went back outside, all the other neighborhood kids, they're around. I'm like, hey, y'all. No, Dominique's not with them. I'm like, did you see Dominique? They're like, yeah, she's up the street again. It's like, okay, good. So I jump on the bike and I go up the street. Again, I don't see her. I see a couple other little kids. Hi, hi, hi. It's like, all the little kids are popping out the window saying hi, 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 but no Dominique. But luckily, she was at her friend's house, but she didn't tell me, and she wasn't supposed to go there. She's supposed to go home. So that's where she's at right now. But I was just, yo.
Okay, all right. She's grounded.
Well, the thing is, the mom of the friend texted my wife. I just didn't know.
Okay.
She was about to be grounded. I did it. I'm like, okay, get your shoes on right now, right? But then the mom was like, oh no, I texted.
All right.
So, and I thought about the book. I'm like, yo, Alison actually, she was able to capture what it's like too. You know, how the kids put the parents through it. So there's like two perspectives that this book is told through. So that's really impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's where she's at. So you'll see her in the next interview, because what I'd like to do is do more of these. There's big plans. You know, I want to get on your level. You know what I mean? So. Yes. So let's just start from the beginning. How did you come up with the idea to write this book, Kookumbah, and how did you even pull it off? There's so many of us who have ideas for things, but it's hard to execute them, right, and put them into products. And I'll just ramble for a second. So this interview series, the idea is called Back to School. We're still in back to school season. And the first two interviews I did were two guys in the music industry who are on your level as well. They're creatives and they've executed their vision, right? So the first guy is named Gil Masuda. He's a legendary Toronto DJ and producer from a crew called Circle Research. Now he has launched his own music production company called Love Touch Records, and he put out 7 inches. He produces them, the whole deal, right? And the other gentleman is a younger dude called Bombay. He's a producer, and he also gets a lot of things done, you know, in a very innovative way, and his projects come to fruition. So it's kind of cool. So you're of that vein, because a lot of us, you know, I'm working on something or I'm grinding, but the products don't end up in the hands of the people. So how did you do it?
Well, let me just say that
I'm gonna hold the book up for a while.
What's that?
I'm gonna hold the book up while we talk.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So you're tired.
Yeah.
So I got this one done, but let me also say that I have been working on a collection of short stories for years. I don't want to say how long. It may not be a decade, but just to say that, just like everybody else, I have projects that I've started and haven't completed. But this one I said, Alison, you said that you want to publish a book. So just publish a book. And so the idea for this came out of an incident that I had with my mother, actually.
I bet. This poor lady.
Love her. That I was like the child in the book.
Yes. Does your mother dress this fly? So bashy. So.
No, she's not that bad.
Okay. I was like, whoa. All right.
She also doesn't have locks.
Okay. You embellish. You use your creative spirit. You put the spice in the character. Nice.
Yeah. So the story is just based on something that happened with my mother and I. I don't know if I should like spoil the book. I guess I will. We're all
let's spoil the book, man. Of course.
Then But my mother said something, and I heard her accent, and because I've grown up with my mother, who's Jamaican, I never heard her accent before, and for some reason this day, the way that she said cucumber, Kookumbah, wow,
it was like the record, the needle on the record,
right? This is the most Jamaican I've ever heard you. Like, it was a thing for me. You know, I liked it. You know, it wasn't like I was trying to shame her or embarrass her.
Right.
But I was surprised and I laughed. And I didn't really think anything of it when I did that. But then I noticed that she started to change the way she pronounced cucumber.
Oh man!
Every time she went to say cucumber, I would hear her sort of stutter and try to say it the way that I said it, like
the hard R.
Oh man! And I was like, you know, after a while, I was like, you know, I'm sorry, you know, like just say it the way you say it.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
for
Okay.
I guess years after, she was still trying to say cucumber,
Yeah.
cucumber. You know, it's like
How I'm so curious. Was this when you were a teenager or even younger, middle school age when you did this?
no, I was a teenager.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And yeah, I haven't been a teenager for a long time. So why that story came back to me. But yeah, it did.
It has such a, yes, yeah, I can say resonance in people. I mean, in Toronto, first of all, because so many of us have parents who come from other countries and bring their accents here. And then I think all over the world too, anyone who can connect with the immigrant experience or the experience of their parents being from one place or another and navigating between accents, right? This story fits right in, and you don't really see that many of them. Have you have you heard from other people who've gone through this experience? I know I have. I know my wife has.
I have, and I guess
Even, sorry, let me cut you off. Even my kids too, because a nice job in terms of creating a book that has so many entry points. Because let's say my kids, their grandparents have accents, right? All these little kids that are outside over there, all their grandparents have accents. Every
yeah,
one of
and
them. So
we all have accents. Everyone has
there
an
you
accent,
go. You're putting the context to it. Yeah.
whether or not you know your
Because
accent.
when, sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just saying, because when we go back home, we'll forget it. Right? They're like, what did you say?
Right.
Why can't you speak? Why can't you speak the language? Right? So it just gets flipped right back on us.
Right, exactly. And you know, I lived in Colombia, and so in learning Spanish, sometimes I could hear my English accent more than other times, and I hated it. And
Mm.
I felt embarrassed by it, and I wouldn't
Right.
want to speak because of it. And
Yeah.
because of that, it took me
Yeah.
so much longer to become comfortable in Spanish and somewhat fluent in Spanish. And it's silly because it's like, yo, everybody has whatever accent they have. Me being from Toronto, growing up, the time that I grew up, with the parents that I had, with the friends that I had, with the
Yeah.
area that I'm in, I talk a certain way. When I'm
Yeah.
talking to my friends, it comes out more than, you know, when I'm talking in
Right.
the classroom, for example.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
so.
That's interesting. Well, I mean, I want to know about the, your time in Colombia, your work in Colombia, the process of learning Spanish. But you mentioning the word silly in terms of you being conscious of your accent. That's interesting because I would describe it. I'm thinking of all the weight at the same time that an accent has, right? Or that accents can carry, and even dialects. And because, for example, let's say the West Indian diaspora, right? That's how people from the West Indies would identify with each other first and foremost. Like, you have skin color, right? But at the same time, I'm not from the West Indies. You know what I mean? So if I'm asked if I'm Jamaican or if I'm from wherever, no, I'm not. Fair enough. But so how do you know? You know what I mean? You know from from the accent, right? From how you speak to each other, and that creates so much bonds that are connected to so much deep cultural stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then, so if you think, so that's why I'm saying and that's why, I'm like, well, your experience, it is what it is. But on the other hand, these accents and these ways of speaking and communicating with each other that link cultures, it gets really deep. And then it even gets confusing because I'm thinking of our late great mayor, Rob Ford, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yes,
I
yes, yes. Yes,
remember.
and his comfort level in the Burger Queen restaurant amongst his Jamaican friends and his I guess performing in Jamaican dialect, which nobody had a problem with, but at the same time it gets kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Can I
Yeah,
tell a story about accents in Colombia?
yeah.
So, and I see one of my former students here. Hey, Antonia.
What up? Well
Well,
done. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Your teacher is phenomenal. I want to
um,
say something in Spanish, but I don't want to. I'm not in that zone. So why don't you perform the greeting? This is
uh,
the multilingual space.
oh, okay. ¿Qué más, Antonia? Okay. Anyway, back on track. Story of Colombia. The
Yes.
actual story. So, um, off the Caribbean coast of Colombia, there are a few islands known as
Mm,
the San Andres Islands.
What islands?
San Andres.
San Andres Islands.
Yeah. Hey, Sarah. Yeah. And they are Caribbean islands, right? But technically, they belong politically to Colombia. Folks there speak Creole, an English-based.
Oh, wow.
Right? So.
I mean, more.
I was there, I don't know, some years ago on vacation, missed my flight. So I'm walking back into town from the airport at like, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning or something ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And trying to find a place to stay for a few hours.
Okay.
My next flight. So I'm going to places, everything's full. I go to this one hotel. I'm talking to the woman at the counter. I'm speaking to her in Spanish at first.
Yeah.
And then.
I just want to interrupt. Is this a high tourist area?
Yes, San Andres. Yes,
okay,
it is.
Okay.
And so I drop a little, like, you know, a little.
Yes. Yeah. A little slang,
like,
a little swag.
Right?
Yes.
Where are you from? In English. And I'm like, oh, you know, I'm from Toronto, but, you know, my mom's Jamaican, my dad's from St. Kitts. And then all of a sudden, she found a room for me. She was like, okay.
You see?
Now, all of a sudden, she's nice, she's welcoming. So sometimes, like, it does create, you know, certain links.
Yes, deep links. Yeah. Now, why did she find this? Why did she make a change of heart after you told her where you're from?
I don't know. I guess she just felt like a kinship. Because the thing about...
Where was she from? Because where was she from?
She was from there. But the thing with the San Andres Islands is because they are culturally different from the rest of Colombia.
Okay. So there's that Caribbean solidarity there.
They're Caribbean people. If you go there, you hear people talk. You hear the Caribbean, like, oh, okay, I know this.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. Big up to San Andres Island. So tell me about when you decided to go to Colombia. I remember vaguely, it was like in the 2000s. It was a while back. And there was like a 1-2, and then you're still there. I'm like, yo, wow, she's there. And then, you know, you're writing books from there, and you're there. And then COVID brought you back to us.
So it was in 2014 that I decided to go to Colombia. Okay. Some years before that, I had lived in Mexico for a year, and I didn't love it. Where? At the time. And
you lived where?
In Mexico. Colombia? Mexico City.
Which part of Mexico?
Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't love that. But then I had another opportunity in 2014. And so I was like, okay, Colombia seems interesting. You know, let's go and let's, you know, see what it's like. I had never been, but my thing is always, if I go and I don't like it, I just come home. You know? How bad could it be, kind of thing.
Good for you. And
my favorite actually went to Colombia years ago.
For 1 second. Say it one more time.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So I was saying that my favorite high school teacher had gone to Colombia to teach years ago.
Okay.
And she and I stayed in touch.
Big up the high school teachers, man. We plant the seeds.
Right? She loved it. So I was like, how bad could it be? And I say that because when I told Colombians here in Toronto that I was going to Cali, they were like, no, you can go pretty much anywhere else. Go to Bogota, go to Medellin, don't go to Cali. They're like, Cali is dangerous. Cali is this, Cali is that. And again, I was like, well, you know, my high school teacher went, how bad could it be? And I went.
Yes.
And it's just, there's something about Cali. It just.
Now, how is it spelled?
Gets you. C-A-L-I.
That's what I thought. Okay. Cali, Colombia. Which part of the country is it in?
Southwest, baby.
Okay.
No.
Now, is it a smaller city or is it a town? I don't know anything about it.
No, it's the third largest city. I see some folks from Cali in this live, so if I'm wrong, correct me. But I believe it's the third big.
When I go to Colombia, that's going to be the first place that I go.
Yeah.
When I go to Colombia, that's going to be the first place I go. So tell us about it. What was why did people warn you against it, and why did you fall in love with it?
I guess because Cali has a reputation, or it had a reputation. So in the way that Medellin had Escobar back in the day, Cali also had a very well-known drug cartel, and they were rivals. And Medellin has over the years been able to kind of like reinvent itself and reinvent its image, but Cali hasn't been able to do so the same way. And so it still carries this whole like, oh, it's this, it's that. But Cali is a cool ass city. Cali has such a unique culture. It's just after a while you just end up loving it. There's so much to learn. There's so much to see. Yeah.
And you know what? You shared a lot, actually. I haven't been able to keep track, but you shared a lot of the culture in your own way via social media. I remember one post about a Black-owned bookstore I think you went to, or some markets or something like that. I think, you know, it's been a lot. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Like, there's a lot, and you're aware, right? Did people tell you, yo, thank you for, you know, did people tell you about the pictures that you post and how we kind of sometimes live vicariously through you in little bits and pieces?
Yeah, yes. I did get that. And then for a while, it became mission sounds like too serious of a word. But
Not
when I was out, I knew, okay, people, sorry, say that again.
It doesn't sound like too strong of a word to me. You can be on a mission.
Okay, yeah, it kind of became a mission to share some of the cool stuff happening in Cali and the cool stuff around culture and just, you know, vibes in general.
Someone in the chat, man, I really appreciate your the community that you brought with you. It means a lot. Because someone in the chat said Cali is culturally rich and diverse and Black.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah, well, you know, that's interesting about, because I've had a few friends from Colombia, and then in South America, there's the complexity that is connected to color, right? And the Latino identity, right? And so, for example, on television programs, you have rubias and rubios, right? And then people who are of African descent are not represented enough. Is that a good summary of what can happen or still happens? Or
yes,
did you find that?
Definitely. What's that?
I was saying, is that what you noticed there? Is that still happening? Those dynamics of representation and misrepresentation between, you know, Black and brown and you know, European Latinos?
Definitely, and it's changing, just like it's changing here more and more. You know, one of the things that surprised me coming back to Canada was how aware Canadians are now of Indigenous life.
Right.
The land that are done. I think, you know, it's, you know, steps in the right direction, and in the same way in Colombia, you're starting to see changes. Some years ago, there were protests around this character on TV who was a blackface character. Right. And I remember the first time I saw it, I was in a restaurant in Medellin. I had gone there by myself for the weekend to check it out. And I was sitting in the restaurant, the only Black person, and this character comes on TV, and people around it are watching and laughing. And I felt small, but I remember feeling embarrassed and like ashamed. And afterwards I had to say to myself, why are you feeling ashamed? Like, there's, you know, but you know, you're sitting there watching this character, you know, buffoon, you know, talking funny and being a clown, and people around you are laughing. And you just that was a rough moment.
I can imagine, and I understand what that feeling feels like. And here's an interesting segue, because now look, you're creating your own characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your own. So that's it. That's a cool link. That's a cool link because I could ask about Colombia forever, and there will be other opportunities to do that.
Forever, my one.
Say again. Your audio cut out.
I said, and I could talk about it forever. And
oh, cool.
So, yeah, it was a great experience.
So you told me that you wrote this while you were teaching in Colombia. Is that correct? So how many drafts did you? Oh, because one thing about the book, I found it a really unique, powerful story, but I wasn't expecting so much text. You know what I mean? Because most children's stories are not as text heavy and not as detailed. And I'm like, wow, this is great. We were able to really go deep. How did you come up with the structure of the book? And the illustrations are incredible too.
Thank you. I obviously did not do them. I do not have an artistic bone in my body when it comes to drawing things.
Well, big up to Sarah Kookumbah. Big up to Sarah Kookumbah. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, in terms of
story, I just started
the drafts. How did you?
I just started, like, I had the nugget around the accent, and I was thinking, okay, but it's a children's story, so like, how do I make it a children's story that's like interesting and like a kid might, I don't know, find something cool in it? And so like that little like magical part where, you know, the thing happens after the incident.
That part was amazing.
I don't know, that just,
the mommy shrinks
came to me one day.
I'm gonna put a little.
Yeah, how she physically.
Let me find it. Let me
think.
Here. Here's a little graphic. That was something I was not expecting. Right? It's almost like we saw her spirit, and then, oh my, this takes the story to another level, and it's great. My daughters really love this part.
And so, question for you, because I don't actually get to talk to a lot of children about it. Did your daughters did they get the shrinking?
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
they did because the visual, first of all, right? Because she's shrinking and she's also sad, and the mom misses her. So that you guys nailed it in terms of, I mean, the illustrations tell the story just as much as the text, right? And I mean, so I would say that you had a great illustrator. And I mean, and you described the story very, very well. It's so powerful, right? The emotional bond between child and parent. So, they did.
Yeah.
Now, how much feedback, how much opportunities have you had to share the book with parents, community, other kids?
Well, because I'm a teacher, some of my teacher friends got the book and asked me to do readings with their class and do like a Q&A. I loved it.
Yeah.
Those were a lot of fun. You know, kids are really surprising, you know, how they can think about an idea and the questions that they come up with. So I really enjoyed that. The other thing I'd say is I've heard from quite a few mothers.
Okay.
And the mothers tell me that the story kind of makes them cry like the first time they read it, because they can remember either a time when they felt like they embarrassed their child, or they think about a time when they felt embarrassed by their parent, and then what it's like for them now with a child, and you know, like all of these feelings kind of come up for them. And so
that's the thing. I told you, like, the book kind of taps into the experience of the parent and the child in an equal way, which doesn't happen often. So you have kind of, you know, hit a double bullseye and been able to pull something off that, I don't see in a lot of children's stories. So we are so looking forward to the next one. Trying to cut you off there, but
thank you.
Well, yeah, right. We are. Is the next one almost done?
I do have a draft.
I'm presuming there's a next one. Why not? Say
Why
again?
not? Exactly. Yeah, I do have a draft written for another children's story. I have some editing through. But yeah, I have a draft right now.
So in terms of, and I'll let you go soon because I want to be respectful of your time. But in terms of the details of the entrepreneurship, how did you form Global Narrative? That's your company, right?
Yes. Yeah. That honestly, I'm not even gonna, like I keep saying, let's not hype it.
Why not? Are you kidding me? What are you talking about?
I mean, it was
Heather, what's her name? Heather Reisman, we're coming for you. Jeff Bezos, we're coming for you. It's true. Hype it up.
I don't know who sent those hearts, but thank you guys for the hearts. That's lovely.
Yes.
Yeah, there's not much to it. So Global Narrative itself went through a few different iterations. It was different things at different times over the years. And most recently, It's just the company that I used to publish the book. That's it for now.
Now, did you register it when you were in Colombia? Did you register it in Canada? Did you register it both places internationally? People who do big things, they never want to share the details, the nitty gritty. So I'm always interested in the nitty gritty. So I think it's my connection that's kind of.
Hey, Money.
Come on, connection. Hold on. Let's just. Wave. Take this time to wave to people. Wave. Wave. Come on, connection. What's happening? Okay, now you're moving. Now it's working a little bit. Not really. I am Monique. Is this Monique that I know from New York?
I don't know if I'm freezing or if Joe's freezing.
Yo, it's Imani. It's yours. Imani, what up?
Okay, I think we're
You're
back.
You're an amazing photographer.
We're back.
Okay, that's better. We're back. Barely back.
Okay, we're back. Cool.
Yes.
Hey,
I'm listening.
Hey, and then. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna, since we're like winding down, I'm just gonna shout out everyone I see like pop up.
Do it. Do it. It's been such a long time. What up, Imani, Monique? I want to know more about her photography, but I guess we'll get to that another time.
Yeah.
Did you know she's a dope photographer? And when we got married,
of course
Imani was there to help take the photos of our wedding. That's another story. But say what? You know about that?
Oh, I didn't know. Oh, man, lovely.
Yes, amazing. That's why I'm bigging her up so much.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, so I was just wondering if you registered the company in Canada and also in Colombia or
in Canada, only in Canada.
Okay, cool. And you have another book in the works?
I guess technically I have two in the works.
Two, you said. Our connection is
one for adults.
Oh, dope. Okay. So I want to ask you a couple music questions because this is a Record Skool interview, right? So I'm always combining music and also education and things connected with knowledge and growth, right? So I guess I'll just do this really quickly. I'm going to put some records up and you tell me what comes to mind. Cool? I'll just do three.
Okay. Yeah. Whoa, these better be old records. These better be old. Mary.
Yep. This is specifically Mary J. Blige. I'm going down.
The Queen?
Say what?
Mary, the Queen. That's what comes to mind. the you know, like Mary. Listen, Mary, originator, unique. Yo. Man.
Okay. You're like, yo, these better be old records? Yeah, of course they're going to be old records. Okay, let's go old. This one, because you have a children's book. This is called, this is Sesame Street Disco.
Oh, wow. What is this madness? I know nothing about this. And
then this is the other one.
Funky, though.
So a
Oh
couple
wow,
Sesame Street records.
Is it still on Sesame Street?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We got to hook you up. We got to get
Wow.
a Kookumbah book reading on Sesame Street. But yes, it's still on.
I remember Oscar the Grouch, Big Bird, Logwan.
But I figured, like, since you are now creating content, right, that fits into the spirit of this tradition, and that's so that's where this came from. Okay. Yeah. Now there's one more music question that I asked all my other guests. You ready for it? In your music,
yeah.
We have to talk about music and music journalism at another time because there's going to be more interviews. What is your favorite Sade song? Take a minute. What is your favorite Sade song? Your face just got serious.
It's a serious question.
Yes, it is, and I can't ask it to just anybody.
You know what's going to happen? I'm going to say a song. I'm going to say a song, and then we're going to shut down, and I'm going to leave, and I'm going to say, no, I should have said something else. I should have said la la la.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay.
But that's why I'm like taking a minute. You know?
Take a minute. It's a serious question. And the thing is, there's a right and wrong answer to this.
Right there, favorite Sade song as well?
Other people, okay. No. This is just you and me. They can just watch the magic. But let's just focus on you and me. And you don't have to take too much time. It's okay. You're his friends. I have trust in you. I wonder if I'm holding it in this record right here. Say what?
But is that what it's called? Your Love is King?
Ooh.
I'm not.
Yes, that's a nice one. Right. That's a nice one. Your Love is King. Is it on here? No, it's not. That's a dope song. Your Love is King. See, I'm all about the Sade albums before Love Deluxe. You know, on some of the earlier albums. And Your Love is King, I believe, is on, you know, one of those earlier albums. Dope.
What's favorite?
I want to say I forgot. I like. No, I just forgot it. It's not nothing. Hold on. Is it nothing? Is it nothing can come between us? No. No. I think. Okay, it's not Nothing Can Come Between Us. It's not Hang On to Your Love. It's the other one. Sorry, let me just be honest. Let me just say right now, Is It a Crime? That's a bad song.
Okay.
So the thing is, it would I would have said it's a wrong answer if you would have said like you know, Soldier of Love or Lover's Rock, anything after, you know what I mean? Those are good, but I'm really interested in the deep.
Wait. Those are tunes as well.
Of course they are. I'm not knocking them, but I'm just saying, like, I have this thing that a lot of the first three albums get unrecognized, and only respected people rate those albums, right? So I asked you, you say Your Love is King, boom. I asked Gil, my other interviews, they say, you know, Hang On to Your Love, boom, you know what I mean? So only the heads know about the first three albums.
Wow.
That's my theory.
Okay. All right.
So thank you so much, Alison. I'm so excited to have to talk to you. And like I said, this is only the beginning. I'd like to interview more on a bigger platform as I develop my own content and my own infrastructure. But is there anything else that I left out about your writing or anything? We didn't get to talk too much about teaching. What did you think? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't think there's anything else really that got left out. I'm glad I got to talk about Cali. I'm glad we got to talk about and reading and a little bit of music, but because I'm not cool anymore. Right? Let me say that. Since I no longer have young people telling me what to listen to, I don't know what's happening in the world. So that's an invitation for people to send me recommendations.
Yeah, I don't know. You and I, we're just as cool as we've always been with our old music. You know what I mean? It comes from within. So let's just you know this guy? This guy's pretty cool.
I can't see
Burna
it.
Boy. Burna Boy.
Oh yeah. Burna Boy.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you some like Drake and Kanye question. Let's not age ourselves, but this, these kind of debates we would have been experts in our time, right?
Oh yes. In our time. Wow.
I will create some space for you to comment if you're interested. Maybe you'd be like, no thanks. I don't know.
I got nothing to say. I don't even know what's happening. There's something. That's what I know happening with these two men, and something about someone's address being
something about someone's
posted.
what?
Someone's address. No, didn't Kanye like?
Oh, you're real. I respect how you have decided to stay out of that space, and I'm gonna leave it. You know what you can do though? I'm gonna shut myself out. If you go on my YouTube, no.
Wait,
you go to my YouTube.
Wait. What did Imani just say? Andre verse getting left off? Obviously, she must mean Andre.
Imani, big up Imani. This is a UPSA reunion. Kanye made the biggest mistake. I don't even know if he still has a brain in his head, because there's an Andre 3000 verse that was recorded. It's so beautiful, and it was decided they didn't put it on the album. Crazy. Don't get me started. But the song is called Life of the Party. Thank you, Imani. Imani, can you imagine working for any kind of record company, right? And you get a notice in your email saying, "Hey, the Kanye album's about to come out, and there's this Andre 3000 album that's probably gonna get left off." Can you imagine being that person in the record company? You're like, "No, we're gonna burn down this building. Bring that Andre verse back on."
Who made that call?
Who can? Right?
You need to hear the verse. What?
Well, the verse is available. You tell me what you think. The verse is beautiful. I haven't listened to the album, but I listened to the song. It's available. It's called Life of the Party. And Andre's verse is just as beautiful as you think it would be, and then Kanye's verse is just as silly as. Anyway, so it is true. Wow. You tell me. I'm interested in what you think. But I'm happy that we got to end on this note. Thank you so much, Alison. Thank you for joining Record Skool. There's more work that you and I hopefully will do. I know we will. And I wish you a great evening. Thank you again.
Thank you.
I'm gonna stay on and promote.
Hopefully, I get to see Dominique next time. Hopefully, she'll hang out with the old.
That's a guarantee. You'll see her. Absolutely. She wants to see you again, so you'll see her. Okay. Bye-bye.
And to everybody who tuned in. Thank you, folks.
Thank you for everyone that tuned in. Thank you, Imani. It's so good to see you again. I'm gonna stay on and yap a little bit. And yeah. So.
All right.
That's Alison. Yeah, I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my sign off. So we didn't really get to talk about Kookumbah, but Dominique and I recorded a YouTube video of us reading the whole thing. So that's going to go online this week. We're going to do a little bit of editing, and then I'll post. And if you'd be so kind to share, then if Alison would be so kind to share, then you can see a live reading of the Kookumbah book by Dominique, my daughter, and I. I wish all of you a lovely evening. Holla back. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right, peace. You got to log off first, then I can log off.
Oh, all right. Peace, people.
Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate it. You can order this online. You can order it at Amazon, but you need to get a copy of this book because she's done a really, really amazing job. This has been an interview for Record Skool. School spelled with a K. K just representing knowledge, comedic knowledge. So that's that's knowledge that comes from the African continent, right? And I'm trying to honor that in what I do. Alison is a teacher as well as a music lover, just like myself. So that's the connection. And you can find more content on this Instagram page and also recordskool.com. Have a great evening. Peace.